welcome to today's Kitco webcast titled Keep It Simple with Non-Allocated Accounts. We have just a few announcements before we begin. The slides will advance automatically throughout the presentation. Should you need technical assistance, click on the help link. If your screen freezes or the slides do not appear to be advancing as they should, please try exiting and restarting the session, as it may be an issue with your connectivity. At any time, you can submit a question using the Ask a Question box located in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen. I will now turn the call over to Sonia Duray with Kitco. Please go ahead.
Thank you all for attending the presentation today. Just a small introduction on biography for Peter Hug. Peter Hug has been involved in the precious metals industry since 1974. He began gaining investment industry experience at Deep Pereira. He served as Senior Vice President at Guardian Trust Company, which became one of the largest international trading houses for precious metals. He developed the first precious metals certificate program and the first margin trading accounts for metals on the cash market. Peter has extensive experience in wholesale markets and international asset diversification. A frequent speaker at precious metals conferences and in the financial media, he is one of the handful of experts who has succeeded through multiple bull and bear cycles on the strengths and skills honed during the dramatic fluctuations of the 1980s. Over to you, Peter.
Yes, good morning, everyone. I'm going to be speaking today about non-allocated accounts. First, I'd like to just go over the overview of what I'm going to be speaking about. It's all on your screens, but first I'm going to try to identify what a non-allocated account is. Then I'm going to compare non-allocated accounts to allocated accounts, some of the benefits of non-allocated accounts, how to transact in non-allocated accounts, some of the mechanisms that are available to track the market through Kitco, and the most important question, why Kitco? So let me first get to an explanation of what non-allocated accounts are. These types of accounts represent an ownership in an unspecified distinct bar or coin. The accounts are backed with the metals represented in the form of physical product, held at top-tier storage providers or with AAA-rated financial institutions. The metals are insured against loss, damage, theft, much the same way physically allocated product is protected. The metals may be part of a dealer's balance sheet, which is the case in most bank-offered certificate programs, or be maintained separately from the dealer's assets. Dealers should have strict internal controls to manage the assets of the clients, and at a minimum have external quarterly audits. Generally, non-allocated accounts are only available for gold and silver. Now I'd like to get to the difference between the non-allocated and allocated accounts. I'm not going to be touching on the pros and cons. This is simply the identification of the product. In allocated accounts, the client has a specific designated product held for them. In non-allocated accounts, the client has an interest in a defined amount in a balance of specific metal. There are a number of strategies that lend themselves well to the utilization of non-allocated accounts. Let me preface this if we have listeners that are convinced that the government is going to seize metals or that the entire financial system is on the verge of collapse. If you are in this camp, non-allocated accounts are not for you. These accounts are designed for clients that wish to participate in the metals markets at arguably the lowest cost. Physical metals, whether they are delivered or held in allocated accounts, unless you have the wherewithal to buy standard delivery bars, which in the case of gold is 400-ounce bars, and in the case of silver, 1,000-ounce bars, these products carry significant fabrication fees as a percentage of your purchase. For example, a 1-ounce Maple Leaf gold coin generally retails around 4% over the cash market. That's approximately a $70 premium at today's price, which means gold needs to rise almost $70 before you realize a break even. 100-ounce silver bars retail for about $1.50 per ounce over cash, or at current prices, 4.5%. Non-allocated accounts from major dealers will carry spreads of about 1% on gold between bid and offer and 1.5 to 1.8% on silver. Whether you are a trader or buy metals on a cost averaging program, these spreads are extremely tight for the cash market. I will touch on some of the convenience options a little later on, but the following point is an important consideration. This point again addresses the client that transacts in precious metals from the vantage point of an asset class. Many clients do their due diligence on what they want to buy, i.e. product, from whom and at what price point. Very few consider the other side of the trade. What happens when you want to sell? In the physical delivery market, besides overcoming the spread, you need to deliver the product to your buying dealer, who may or may not make you a market until the product is received. This is a crucial point. Liquidity is essential. We have all seen silver drop $3 in a few hours. Non-allocated accounts give you instant access to the markets. When you study this screen, it would appear we are setting you up only to consider non-allocated accounts. Let me speak to two truths. One, I spoke to this in my last webinar. You, the client, must decide the rationale for buying precious metals. If you are in the camp of the fatalist, buy physical product. Ideally, hold it outside of your country of residence, and price should be a minor factor. If you are buying to trade the metals as part of a balanced portfolio, it makes no sense to pay high fabrication fees, delivery charges, or storage fees, if applicable, and run into possible liquidity issues. The second truth, a dealer makes much more profit when selling physical product. Now I'd like to comment on some of the more subtle applications using the non-allocated program. This is an excellent vehicle for dollar cost averaging. Because there are no minimums, clients can purchase a predetermined weekly, monthly, or quarterly amount and cost average their purchase over a period of time. For the long-term investor, cost averaging has generally outperformed the market. It is also much simpler to recalibrate your metals holdings as an overall percentage against your portfolio. Secondly, as I mentioned earlier, physical product carries a fabrication cost. The rule of thumb is the smaller the bar or coin, the higher the premium to the metals price. The non-allocated program allows you to buy small increments and then convert the balance into a larger bar for delivery at a lower premium in the future. No matter how you invest, there are two fundamentals that you need to consider: liquidity and access. With Kitco, you can transact online and with your mobile device on a 24/7 basis. For live customer contact, Kitco offers extended trading hours, 8:30 until 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Monday through Friday. Although Kitco is a significant bullion dealer, its reputation has been grounded as the #1 source for precious metals news and commentary. I have traveled all over the world, and it always astounds me in how many people use our services, including many of our competitors. Not only do we offer you a variety of products, but also the commentaries and opinions of some of the most respected names in the industry. Now the most important, why Kitco? Access, liquidity, competitive spreads, market data are all important. But to whom are you entrusting your metals? This is what you need to ask. Are the metals held off balance sheet? Do you perform daily audits, internal audits, and at least quarterly external audits? How long have you been in business? A blind monkey could have made money in this market over the past 5 years. How would today's dealers have managed the decade of the 90s, where 90% of the dealers closed shop? The answers to questions 1 and 2 are a resounding yes. And by the way, Kitco has been around since 1978. Thank you very much for listening to this webinar, and I'm happy to take your questions.
So we've received a number of questions from the audience throughout the presentation, and we'll go ahead and address 3 of them today. So the first question from an audience member is, are my metals safe?
Yes, they absolutely are. I mean, Kitco performs very, very extensive audits on a daily basis. The positions are balanced daily to the client balances. We have external audits that take place quarterly, and Kitco has arranged with its dealers to hold the metals off Kitco's balance sheet and in the account designated for the clients.
Thank you. And the second question is, can I send you my physical metals to be be converted to my non-allocated account?
Yes, generally we will accept metals from clients that wish to add to their allocated account or to open an allocated account. We have some restrictions in the case of clients that do have metals holdings that they wish to transfer to an allocated account with us, or if they wish to send us the metals and have them converted to an unallocated account for trading purposes. We would recommend that they call our trade desk at Kitco, and one of the specialists there will be able to walk them through the process.
And the last question for today, do you report my holdings to the government?
No, in Canada there's no reporting requirement, and also we do not have general subpoena law in Canada. By that I mean the government can't come to Kitco on a fishing expedition and ask us to turn over our account balances so that they can just randomly go through them. In Canada, by law, they have to come with a direct subpoena on a specific account. So from that perspective, obviously unless the client has created a situation on their own, there is no indirect reporting to the government from a subpoena perspective, and we do not and are not obligated to report transactions in precious metals to the government on just on an ad hoc basis.
Thank you. So thank you all for attending the presentation today. Kitco will be happy to assist you with your precious metals needs. Please do not hesitate to contact us at 1-877-775-4826. Kitco will be hosting another free 15-minute coffee break webinar soon, so please keep checking our website for more details.
Ladies and gentlemen, we thank you for your time and attention. This webcast is now concluded.